of Ruby Freeman and Shaye Freeman Morris and one other gentleman, quite obviously, surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine.
You remember that? Rudy Giuliani spreading that conspiracy theory about election fraud in the wake of the 2020 election, sprinkling a little bit of casual racism onto there as well. See, that was during a long-term ongoing campaign to take two Georgia election workers who he referenced in that video and make them out to be villains because they are pitching a conspiracy theory. This plot to steal the election from Donald Trump, and conspiracy theories need villains. And so they found them. Two people, Shaye Moss, Ruby Freeman as well, and said that they were somehow responsible for this. They were part of this elite plot to deny Donald Trump his second term in office. And as a result of that, they suffered. They were attacked constantly by many, many people. Their reputations utterly destroyed thanks to elite plots like you saw there from Rudy Giuliani. Well, fast forward to now, turns out there was a big investigation into whether they had done any of what was being alleged about them. And no, of course, they had not. They faced threats of violence though, for a couple of years while we were waiting for the results of this investigation. Conspiracy theorists talking about them constantly. But now the Georgia Elections Board, their investigators interviewed a social media user who admitted he created a fake account, confirmed the content that was posted in the account was fake. They looked into the claims of USB drives being handed back and forth. No, it was not a USB drive. It was a ginger mint, as was said at the time. But now so many people on the right will have just moved on. Do they even care about these two women whose lives they ruined for years? Does Rudy Giuliani even remember doing that interview? One of the many court cases that he lost in the wake of the 2020 election. This is how it works. You take these people, whether it's Rudy Giuliani, libs of TikTok, you make a temporary villain out of these people. You allow the mob, the piranha, to shred them, and then you just move on to fresh meat the next day. But their lives are still ruined, Mondale.
Yeah, this is absolutely disgusting, and I think this video in itself is enough to should be enough to have him disbarred. But I think, the sad part about it is the media don't even remember these. I think it was a mother and a daughter's name, and now they're, like you said, they had to move. They were getting death threats, and this type of stuff is damning for the long term for these people who were working as poll workers. Already we know they're either volunteering or underpaid for sure, and they were overworked in Georgia because most of the cases, the lines were 8, 9, 10, and 12 hours in some cases in that state. So we're talking about people doing a great service to the public, being demonized to the point where they're getting death threats because of conspiracy theories that are grounded in nothing but someone creating a fake profile online, and that is absolutely disgusting to me.
100%, yeah, and they just send the mob at people, and the idea that the way that they targeted, Shaye Moss, Ruby Freeman, many others in other states as well, is obviously making it harder to get people to do this incredibly important volunteer work, and that's part of the plan. They don't care if that makes it much harder to run the elections. If the fact that you don't have enough volunteers results in really long lines and really long waits, that just feeds into their conspiracy theories. They can use that to argue that the election is being stolen. When they pull voting machines out of areas, thus artificially extending the waits, they point to that as a sign that that area can't run the elections, even though they're the ones that cause that. All of this is so convenient for them to continue to spread lies, and all of it rather than just actually trying to win elections. But anyway, I think that it's important that we remind people of some of the victims that are made along the way. And this was a particularly disgusting case of this.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.